Just got our next batch of meat chickens in. Just in time, too. We didn't actually think we were going to get them. Although they are a day late, so let's hope they're all alive. Well, look good so far. Welcome, welcome, little fellas. And that's 40. Got our laying hens in too. Felicity's got a bunch of little silkies in here. So with all of those in the brooder and the 2-week-old birds we just put out here on pasture, we got about 115 babies right now. About 75 of which are meat birds. The rest will be egg layers. So let's talk chickens and eggs for a minute. All over the country, I've been noticing on my phone when I was looking through news and stuff, they're talking about egg shortages. Like, oh, egg shortages, egg crisis, bird flu, you know, all the typical nonsense that you see. And it's interesting to me, it's all based on fear. Fear, 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 everything. COVID, we're all gonna die, you know. Global warming, we're all gonna die. Y2K, all the way back, you know, think back as far as you can think. It's always been about instilling fear, because fear controls people. You will do stupid things when you're scared. There's a Bible verse for that. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. And go on. I can't remember the whole thing by memory, but I know that God has not given us the spirit of fear. So, do we ever get scared? Absolutely. There are some fearful times in life. But it's the spirit of fear. Living in fear is not good. It will drive you to do crazy things. Look at the toilet paper shortage we had a couple years ago. Shortage. That was only a consumer-driven shortage. The only reason there was a shortage is because they told people it's disappearing. You need to hurry up and get it while you can. So people were flocking and running to the stores, buying tons of toilet paper. Where's it going? Why would there be a toilet paper shortage? It's dumb. And it's the same with this egg and chicken shortage. Now, I have no doubt that there is going to be a shortage, but it's our own making. So, this avian flu, bird flu, whatever it is that's going around, that they're acting like it's going to be the next killer for everybody. It infects chickens. The chickens don't die from it. I mean, there's some that are going to die from it. Just like with the normal flu for people, you know. The older, the weaker, you know, you're gonna have chickens die no matter what from any kind of sickness. I mean, chickens just die from everyday life, you know. They have problems, they get sick, they die. The problem is they're going in there and they're butchering and killing the entire flock on these farms where there's one that they test and supposedly find a positive. That's why there's going to be a shortage, because we're killing them all. Why would we do that? And now they're saying that, you know, it's creating egg shortages. I just happened to run into a grocery store. I haven't been in a grocery store and I couldn't even tell you when. We don't grocery shop. We usually, what we need, we'll run out and grab, you know, if Katie's in town, she'll grab a few things. We have food just delivered to the house. So we don't get into the store very often. And we pretty much buy the same things every time. Eggs are not one of them. We haven't bought eggs in years. And I happened to run in there the other day and eggs were like $8 or $9 for a dozen. Like, man, how is that possible? How is that possible? The good part is we didn't really know about it because we weren't affected by it. That is the key to being self-sufficient, self-reliant. Self-sufficiency does not mean you never buy anything. The cows think I'm out here to feed them. These guys are not self-sufficient. They rely on us. Sorry, I had to relocate. The cows thought I was going to feed them again, I guess. They wouldn't be quiet. They were hollering right in my ear. Couldn't hear myself think. So what I was saying is being self-sufficient. That does not mean you never go to the grocery store, never buy anything that you need to eat. Doesn't mean that at all. It means you're growing enough of your own food that you're not totally dependent on the supply chain. The food supply chain is very fragile right now, and it seems like it's not going to get any better. Chickens and eggs are the big topic right now. Beef has been somewhat of a topic for the last couple of years, and they're saying this year's not going to be any better. But beef prices continue to go up. It's great for people that want to sell. Like, we'll be selling a couple of cows this year, and it's going to be fantastic for us, but for the everyday person that's going in and buying their food off of the grocery supermarket shelves, that's not going to be good. Prices have already doubled and sometimes tripled what they were just a couple of years ago. So what we're doing to combat it. So we've got our last chickens that we're probably going to be ordering from hatchery for quite some time. We are looking for another hatchery that's a little closer to where we can just drive to it, because like with these chickens here, we ordered several weeks back from Hoover's Hatchery in Iowa, and they ship them USPS. Sunday, almost a week ago, we got an email from Hoover's saying that their system had a glitch and that they received way too many orders for the amount of chickens that they actually have. And they could not guarantee when we would actually get our birds. And we're like, great, because we try to do our butchering of our meat chickens early in the season or late in the year when it's cooler, because summers here in northern Florida are miserable. You do not want to be out butchering chickens with the bugs and the heat and the humidity. It's miserable. Hopefully by the end of this year we'll have our butcher shop set up and that won't be as big of a deal. So we were a little bummed. We're not going to be getting our meat chickens for quite some time, or any of the laying hens that we ordered. And went on their website on Monday, and on their website they said they are totally sold out of chicks for the 2025 year season. Like, this is not good. So feeds right into the shortages, you know, with the amount of chickens and eggs around. There's not as many babies hatching either. So Tuesday morning we get a call from the post office. Our laying hens had showed up. Like, awesome. Wasn't expecting that. So we got those, and fast forward to today. Today is Saturday. We actually got a call from the post office again, and that our meat chickens were here. So that was a big blessing. We weren't expecting to have them this week, even though they were originally supposed to be delivered this week, because the hatchery said that they're sold out. So I would say that's going to be the case with a lot of hatcheries. They're probably selling out quick now because there's a run on chickens. And I'm glad we got our orders in before all that madness happened. But I'd say once the stores are sold out, which who knows how many they'll actually have, people are going to start looking locally. So Felicity actually fired up our incubator, and we've got some eggs that we're going to go in there. We're going to probably sell some when the time gets here, if people are looking for chicks. And if not, we'll have those as our next generation of laying hens, because it looks like for the foreseeable future we're going to have these shortages. And it's sad. Thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of chickens being slaughtered off just because one or two get sick. I think it's unacceptable. I was watching Joel Salatin, so I really like a lot of what he has to say. I don't follow a lot of his coop designs and that sort of thing. I think each farm has to do its own customized setup. I think each place is different. He does have a lot of good ideas though. He was saying about 6 or 8 months ago in a video that the bird flu is something that's easily prevented. So it's happening in these, I don't know what to even call them, factories, basically chicken factories, where they've got all these cages and cages and cages of cooped up chickens where they really don't have a life. They're just there for eggs or meat, whatever. But I think a lot of it's to do with the egg farms. And they're not getting any outside time, no green grass, nothing. And they're getting sick. And it's easily preventable. He said if a chicken eats 2 blades of grass a day, that it will not get bird flu. And I thought that was interesting. Studies have been done. Having chickens out on pasture is the best way. Now we don't have our laying hens on pasture. We have a big 4,000 square foot pen here, and there's probably, I don't know, 70 or 80 hens in here. And you know, they've got it down to dirt. We do give them stuff from the garden, weeds, whatever. We dump stuff in there. We give them our food scraps, that sort of thing. So they're getting, our chickens are healthy. They're fine. But we are looking into possibly moving our operation of eggs out onto pasture like we do our meat chickens. It's something we're looking at maybe doing later this year, and moving them around behind the cows, because we do rotational grazing with our cows now, and that's worked out really well. We drag the manure to fertilize the field, and to have the chickens come behind them, it would help with fly larvae, cut down on flies, parasites, any of the worms and stuff that are out there, you know, on the pasture. I think it'd be good. So we're looking at maybe doing that, moving our hens out onto pasture. But I thought that was interesting. And the other thing he said was, and this makes total sense, why is it that they're butchering all of the chickens? A lot of the chickens are getting it and getting well. If you want to butcher some, if they're on death's door, butcher those, or if they die, they die. But then take the ones that are immune now, because they have natural immunity, and breed those chickens, and you have stronger chickens for the next generation. I don't understand that either. It would make the most sense. Instead of killing them, now you've just eliminated any possibility of immunity. It just keeps on going. Instead of they get it one time, they're immune, you're good to go. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It feels a little bit intentional to me. And I hate to be that way, but just looking at how our world is now, it's all about money and control. And what better way to control people than with their food? You gotta have food to eat. Yeah. Chickens are so much fun. I highly encourage you, if you don't have chickens, get you some chickens. They're the gateway animal to homesteading. It'll all go downhill from there. You'll have all kinds of animals and be growing stuff, and as soon as you start eating farm fresh eggs from your own land, you'll be a changed person. You know, most eggs in the grocery store are 2 to 3 months old. They're not fresh, and they've been washed most likely in some kind of solution. And fresh eggs do not need to be refrigerated if you do not wash them. You can put them right on your counter. We put ours on the counter as long as you don't wash them off. And the only reason you'd wash them is if they're filthy. And the way to keep them clean is to keep fresh material in their nest boxes, whether it be hay. We use pine shavings because hay can cause allergy issues with chickens, or mold issues, that sort of thing. So we use pine shavings, and it gives it a nice smell in there too. And that keeps our eggs perfectly clean. We don't have to wash them. So if you live in an area that don't allow you to have chickens, I encourage you to sell and move. Prices of homes are coming back up. Interest rates are coming down. People can afford to buy. Get you some of these little guys, and get a couple acres where you can have them and grow your own garden. At the very least, support your local farmers that are growing locally, butchering their own beef, pork, chicken, eggs, what have you, even vegetables. I highly encourage it. It's It's very rewarding. And then start watching YouTube channels like Joel Salatin and Justin Rhodes, people like that, that have a lot of great ideas. You don't have to follow them all. Just a Few Acres Farm is another one. Great channels. You can learn a lot and be ungovernable with growing your own food. Thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all have a great day. We'll see you next time.